Good evening, my YouTube viewers. It's Palestine here, and I'm having to make the video from my kitchen today because of the lighting. And the reason why is because I don't have any curtains in my apartment. The reason why I don't have any curtains in my apartment is because I was just worried when my flat was being vandalized that noxious substances were being sprayed on my curtains, and because of that I just took the curtains off. So now I don't have any curtains on my apartment, and I'm not going to say all of the things that were done to my apartment, but I was very worried that poisons were sprayed on the curtains to make me ill. So I just solved that problem by removing the curtains. Basically, in my last video, I was talking about my former friend from Idaho, and that caused me to think about some other instances about emails where I had my communications thwarted. There were many instances when my communications were thwarted, and I may or may not name them all, but one instance when my communication was thwarted is when I was working at Foster Wheeler, and I met this girl. Obviously, I can't name her, but her first initial is L, but whenever I met her, she was working in the estimating department, proposals and estimating department, which was the department that I was working in. And she told me she wanted to be a commercial manager. And she was an estimator at the moment. They put her on the graduate training program, and they let her work in various departments as part of the graduate training program. And so in those departments she was working in, she got experience working in all the different departments in the business that she would need to be familiar with to progress in the business. And then, so she worked in proposals, she worked in estimating, she worked in legal, and I'm not sure of the other departments that she worked in, but she worked in all the departments that she needed to be able to work in to build her way up the business. And you notice they didn't have any interest in me building my way up the business, so they never let me work in any other departments. I just stayed in the same department that I was in. So that should just tell you what they thought about me. So I never really got to know her personally. She was a lot younger than me, and her sister also worked at Foster Wheeler, and her first initial was P or sometimes T. Her sister wasn't very nice to me. She wasn't that nice to me either, because she said I was out of shape, and I wasn't out of shape, but that's another matter. So anyway, for some reason, don't ask me why, she connected with me on LinkedIn. And so when I was forced out of my job at at Foster Wheeler, I tried to reach out to her via LinkedIn because I was a contact at LinkedIn. And told her I was no longer at Foster Wheeler. And she said, oh, well, why did you leave? Because whenever I would tell people I was no longer at Foster Wheeler, they would just say, why did you leave? Because basically what happened was they wanted me to say, well, they let me go. And so I don't know, in hindsight, I don't know if the L ever even received any message that I sent her, but I did try to reach out to her on LinkedIn. So the first time I told her I was no longer at Foster Wheeler, and the response that I got was, why did you leave? And obviously I didn't want to answer that question because I didn't want to tell her everything they did, so I just didn't reply. And then when I got sanctioned about 6 months later, and I was in Prospect Park, and this was after the psychiatrist told me that there's no software that can change an email after it's been sent. That may be true. That may be true. There's no software that can change an email after it's been sent. But you can hack into a person's email account. You can send emails on their behalf. You can do all sorts of things illegally. And so for them to say I was mentally ill just because I was complaining about the communications was, in my opinion, not very fair, because they didn't investigate. They did not investigate. They did not look at any of the emails that had been sent from my account. And as I said, what happened was the powers who were harassing me were trying to paint a picture of me being mentally unwell. Well, I had to send emails for work, so if I was sending emails for work okay, then I should have been able to send emails personally okay. And basically, so when I was in Prospect Park, I did reach out to Elle again. I tried to email her. I believe that I emailed her on LinkedIn because I didn't have her personal email address and I didn't have her work email address. So I believe I tried to contact her on LinkedIn, and I got the usual response. She was saying, because whoever it was that was monitoring my email accounts was trying to portray me as being crazy, and obviously didn't want me contacting this young lady. And so she says, well, I'm sorry, I can't make out what you're saying. All your communication is jumbled. So all of the messages that I sent her had been jumbled and mixed up. And so I could not communicate with her. And basically, because I wanted to tell her what was going on at Foster Wheeler and why I left Foster Wheeler and what they were doing, I couldn't get through to her. I'm not sure that she ever received one email from me. I'm not sure that she did. I know that the powers that be did not want her receiving any emails from me because they did not want her knowing what the company was really like. And again, this was an instance when, again, even though the messages I were getting, she was saying, these emails that you're sending me are jumbled up and I can't make heads or tails out of them. They were trying to portray a picture of me as being mentally ill and not even able to send an email. But I was able to send an email at work, no problem. I was able to send an email for professional reasons, no problem. It was just my personal emails that were the issue, because they didn't want work to be tampered with. I know that Foster Wheeler was behind the emails that I tried to send to Elle. I know that. But I received lots of other dubious correspondence from other people I can't name. I can't name them. I can describe them and give you their initial, but I can't name them. And even my brother, I received really dubious correspondence from my brother. So I don't know how many of the emails that I sent genuinely reached the people that they were intended to be sent to. And I don't know if what I put in the emails was actually what was in the emails that they received. And one of the things, so we know Foster Wheeler was behind this harassment when I was working at Foster Wheeler, but I made another video earlier talking about the deep state and how I'm part of a classified file. I can't say I'm part of a classified program because I don't know what's in the file, but I can say I'm part of a classified file. But I tried emailing my brother and I didn't get good correspondence back. I tried emailing people that I knew at Foster Wheeler, I didn't get correspondence back. I tried emailing my former friend, C. I didn't get good correspondence back. So we know that Foster Wheeler definitely had something to do with all the emails that I sent and received that were dubious. And I think the deep state also had something to do with it. And in addition to that, when strange things were going on, like I would receive emails on Facebook from people asking me a question about where I lived. So that was just them letting me know that there was something dubious going on where I lived. Or asking me a question about this place where we went to get food, just letting me know that there was something dubious going on. But obviously, if I say to somebody, oh, I received an email asking me a question about where I live from this person who never emails me, people would just say I was crazy. Or if I said I received an email about this restaurant in Early from someone who never emails me, people would just think I'm crazy, which is what they did, they did think I was crazy. So, all of my email correspondence was thwarted. All of it was tampered with. I don't know in the emails that I sent got to the people in the state that I sent it in. I doubt it very seriously, because I know a few instances, like with C, my former friend from Idaho, and L, my colleague from Foster Wheeler. And by the way, she's still working for that organization. And but now she's a commercial manager. She did what she said she wanted to do. She said she wanted to be a commercial manager, and she got a job now she's working as a commercial manager in Wood. So she did what she wanted. She did what she said she was going to do. But I don't know. I know with L and with C, the emails that I sent and received were no good. And the other emails that I sent and received from other people, I think those were highly dubious as well. And definitely the emails when I was working at Foster Wheeler was behind that. But even when I wasn't working at Foster Wheeler, I still was receiving and sending dubious emails and text messages. So we know Foster Wheeler was behind it, and the deep state had something to do with it as well, because I'm part of a classified file. I'm classified. I don't even know what it is that they're doing with me, because they won't tell me. But whatever it is, it's not good, because they've ruined my life, and now I've got cancer. I'll be surprised if I live 5 more years. So that's it for this video, because I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm cooking soup. So I better go back to fixing soup. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll be making another video for you very soon to talk to you about some more of these things that happened that affected my life to the point to where now I've got cancer. So if you like my video, please like and subscribe, and I will be communicating with you soon.